Hey guys, Teresa here. Welcome back to my channel, Lost My Thread. I'm here today to share some winter skirt inspiration and to ask for your help to pick which one I should make first. I've been doing some work this year to try and understand a little bit more about what I would like from my wardrobe and seeing where gaps are. And I made some skirts in the spring and the summer that I have been absolutely loving wearing. But as we're getting into the colder months, I'm realizing that there's a definite gap in my wardrobe there. I do not have many skirts for this time of year and I want to change that. So what I want to do today is share with you some Pinterest inspiration of some colder weather skirts, autumnal winter skirts that I'm thinking about, share some sewing patterns that I think would match well with that and also with my aesthetic, and then pair them with some fabrics that I have in my stash. There are three styles of skirt that I'm going to talk about. They're kind of broad terms for these things, but I do want to give an honorable mention to wool skirts. I do not have any wool in my stash, so I'm not going to be going out and buying any wool for this, but I do love the idea of a wool skirt. I think it's going to be definitely nice and warm, but also breathable when you go indoors. They are really beautiful. I will say for me, wool is a bit of a challenge because I feel like it's difficult to know what you're buying. Wool can be quite variable as far as the weight, the thickness, the structure, and I feel like that's something that I would really prefer to buy in person, whereas I do most of my fabric shopping online. If you guys do have a really good recommendation of a good place to get some wool in the UK, specific types of wool that you think would work well for a skirt, please do let me know in the comments down below. It's something that I can be knowing for next season and or next year. But for now, I want to focus on some other types of skirts. The first style that I feel like is a no-brainer for me that I know would be such an easy thing to incorporate into my wardrobe are shorter skirts. So when I'm talking about shorter skirts, I'm not necessarily going to go like micro mini, but I definitely would want to go above the knee for myself, probably by a couple of inches. I feel like this style of skirt works very well with tights and boots. Definitely a bit of a 70s nod. I think they go really well with turtleneck shirts, long sleeve t-shirts, but depending on the style, potentially blouses as well. A lot of these are made in corduroy, the ones that I was tagging and liking. I am a fan of corduroy. It's no surprise to anyone that I'm going to like the look of these corduroy skirts. I like the ones with the button down the front, but also the ones that don't have a button down front. I would say in general for this style of skirt, I do like a pretty fitted silhouette, so I like it pretty fitted at the waist and the hip, and generally fairly straight going down from there. I definitely would see myself in this style, and I feel like if I had the right colors for this type of skirt, I think this would be something I would reach for really regularly. I did pin one that was a wrap style short skirt, which I feel like looked really cute, but then I think about the practicality. It's already a short skirt and it's cold outside, and then having a bit of a wrap there, I just don't know if it's going to be very comfortable. It might just get too cold. I'd be curious to know if you've had a wrap skirt in like a thicker, heavier weight fabric for the winter, if it worked for you. I also really want to have a warm long skirt, so something in a heavier weight fabric that goes all the way down to either midi or maxi length. Either would be absolutely fine to me. I do know for myself, I love wearing a long skirt in the winter time. I have mentioned this before, but I'm definitely somebody who really firmly believes that mittens are warmer than gloves. When you have your fingers together, they warm each other up rather than when they're separated in gloves. I think there's something similar going on when you're wearing a long skirt compared to a trouser. When you're wearing trousers, your legs are separate, they do get cold, but when your legs are able to be together, particularly when you're standing in a long skirt, there's like a tunnel of warmth that is created under the skirt. It is really cozy and it feels really nice. I've definitely had a lot of times waiting for a bus or a train growing up in Chicago where it gets so cold in the wintertime. I really do like a long skirt. I will say for this style of skirt, I do still want it to be fitted at the waist and at the hip, but I do really want some shaping down from there. I don't really want something too straight. It needs to be pretty A-lined. If there's a kind of like a gore or a shaping at the bottom, even better to me. I like that little feminine element going on in the bottom of the skirt as well. I will say style-wise, again, button front or not, I really do like either. I don't really have a particular preference. The things I've been pinning, again, a lot of corduroy. I think definitely a velvet long skirt like this would be absolutely amazing for the winter time. But I feel like it's overall a style and shape that, again, I think would be great with either blouses in particular, but certainly with like long sleeve turtlenecks, that kind of thing. And I have a lot of things that I think would pair well with this style. I've worn this style of skirt in the past. I just don't have any in my wardrobe right now, so I know I would really wear it if I did get one. I also have to mention that when I've seen longer skirts with a slit in the thigh, I think it looks really beautiful and just like a little bit edgy, but the problem I will say with that is I want a long skirt for warmth, and I feel like having a slit there, it's essentially like you're wearing a short skirt, and I'm gonna make a short skirt, and I think that's okay, but I wanna have a longer skirt as well. No openings. I think if it's a button down, it's just a little open at the bottom, I can get away with that, but I think a slit would be just a bit too much and too cold for me in the winter. And the third style of skirt I'm classing as a skirt, you may argue with me, is a pinafore. So pinafores are skirts with something attached on the top. So either a bib or a bodice on top, which obviously is taking us into the dress categories. But what I'm specifically looking for is something that you would not wear on its own. You'd need to wear something underneath. Because basically what I want to do is be able to mix and match with my tops. I want to have some separates that I can wear with some bottoms. And this needs either like a long sleeve tee, a turtleneck, or even a blouse underneath to be able to be worn, and I really love the look of a pinafore with those types of tops underneath. That is something that I know that I like to wear. I do have one of these in my wardrobe already, and it does get a lot of wear, so I feel like it would be good to introduce another one into it. What I will say is I'm pretty happy with different styles, and I would like to try different styles. I've made the bib style one before. I've made the Pippi Pinafore by Jennifer Lauren handmade, which I'll talk about in a minute, but I also like the idea of having one that's more of like a dress version, so it's a bit more closed, it's not open at the back, it's not just literally a bib, it's more of a shaped bodice. And definitely buttons or zippers, I'm happy either way, but I do need to be able to get in and out of it easily on my own. Moving on to patterns then, I'm going to start with the pinafores and then work my way back. Like I said, I have made the Jennifer Lauren handmade Pippi Pinafore before. This is a bib style pinafore, but it's, I would say, a little bit different. There's definitely some nice shaping going on. So there's shaping in the bust, there are darts at the front of the bust, and there's also a nice curve around the bust. This one also comes in multiple bust cup sizes, so it's really easy to get a good fit. There is a crossover at the back, which allows you to see what you're wearing a bit more underneath, which I think is a nice option. It is fitted around the waist, and then there's some shaping going on from there. So there are pleats at the front and the back. There is a side button placket, so it's like a button fly but at the side, which makes it really easy to take this one on and off, to be able to tuck things in around it. I feel like this is a nice shape, I feel like this is a really nice style, and I know that it's something that I like because I've made it before. The nice shaped patch pockets are a definite bonus, though I did lengthen the depth of those to make them a little bit deeper on my version. The one downside of this pattern is that it is not lined, so if I made a version in the future, I would definitely want to line it, because if you're wearing this kind of skirt with tights, it can start to ride up if you don't have a lining. Part of me feels like I do not need another Pippi Pinafore because I already have one, but the problem is that I have put on some weight over the last year, and the waist, it just about closes, but I'm basically a size bigger than I was when I made this, so part of me feels like I need to just make another one in a bigger size because I know I like it and I know I'll wear it. The other style of pinafore that I'm interested in making is more essentially like a dress, but something that you could layer long sleeve tops underneath. The Nina Lee Camden Pinafore really did appeal to me. Looking at it, I feel like the style and the shape are really nice. There's good shaping going down the bodice with some princess seams at the front and the back. There are darts at the bottom of the skirt as well, so it's nice and fitted at the waist with some good shaping there. There's a nice big roomy pocket. This one is lined as well, so it did have a lot of plus points. But my biggest downside is that there's an invisible zipper at the back of this, and I cannot do an invisible zipper all the way down my own back, so I would need help to get dressed and to get undressed. It's not like a no way because my husband can do that for me, but it's just nice to be able to do it for yourself, and I feel like that is definitely drawing me a little bit away from it. This does also come with a skirt option, which is very much in the style of the short skirt that I was looking for. So I feel like theoretically it could work and be good value if I can get the fit of it right. But I am also considering whether I use another pattern that I already have. I found a blog post where Casey of Pattern Scout had made a hack of the Hana Dress to make a pinafore style dress out of corduroy. I think it looks really good and it's definitely appealing to me. So she did some adjustments to the pattern by lowering the neckline a bit, making a facing rather than bias binding edge. She added some patch pockets and some fisheye darts at the back for some shaping. I think it looked really effective, and it's definitely making me wonder if that's maybe where I would prefer to go. Now, I decided as a bit of a test just to see what I thought, I would try on the Hana dress that I have made before with a turtleneck underneath just to get an idea of the vibe. Now this dress is made in a linen fabric. It's incredibly lightweight and definitely would not be suitable to be wearing this time of year. It's more just, like I said, a bit of a test to see what I think of it. Now I was never totally happy with the fit that I had on this. I think I need a bit of a better shape around the bust area. It's definitely very tight in the back. I would want to lower the arms, especially if I'm going to be putting t-shirts and tops underneath it. But I feel like it's an interesting starting point. Like I said, I put on a little bit of weight over the last year, so this was made a size smaller than I would probably want it now anyway. But I think I would probably want to do a muslin just to test the fit to see what I think. But I feel like because I have this and I have made this and I like the look of Casey's, I think that's the way that I'm leaning. Because there is no waist seam for this one, if I did want to line it, I would probably have to line the whole thing. So rather than doing a facing, I might just do a lining instead, and I'd be more inclined to probably size up if that was the case. I am still undecided, so tell me what you think if I should take the Hana dress that I've made before, make a new muslin and make some adjustments, or whether I should just go ahead and try the Nina Lee Camden Pinafore, either hacking the front or just living with the fact that I need someone to help me get in and out of that zip in the back. As far as longer skirts, there are two that were really appealing to me. The first is the Itch to Stitch Quebrada skirt. This one has gores at the front and the back, so there are 5 panels at the front, 6 panels at the back. This allows you to get some really beautiful shaping going from the waist to the hip and then flaring out down at the bottom. This has a really cool, professional, sleek look to me. There are no pockets. There are no room for pockets with this style and silhouette, but I still think it looks really good. There is a shorter and a longer version, so there's one that's kind of just below the knee and one that's longer, more like a midi length. I'd probably go for the longer version for this style. This doesn't have a waistband. There is a waist facing, which again, I feel like gives it a really nice sleek look. I think this would be great with things tucked into it. I really do like this style. The other long skirt pattern that I like the look of is the Solita skirt by True Bias. This has a front and back yoke with like a V shape at the front. I think it has a really interesting, unique, cool style to it. There are 4 panels at the front and the back as well that allow it to have that nice shaping. So it is fitted at the waist and the hip, and it does really widen out as it goes to the bottom, which I do really like. This one also has some integrated pockets, which, you know, I clearly do like a pocket. And this has a zipper fly at the front as well. So it's got a bit of a jean skirt look, but not fully. This does have a shorter version that's above the knee with a slit at the back, but I don't really like the look of that one for the short skirt as much. It would definitely be the long version I'd be interested in with this pattern. And then I'm a little bit unsure about whether I should just go ahead and just make the Blair skirt by True Bias in the longer version and in the shorter version. So I put this in my short skirt pattern category because I particularly like the short skirt version of this. Those box pleat pockets with the flap on them I think look so cute with the short skirt. I feel like it's like a perfect short winter skirt. There's a belt that you can make as well that matches. I think it's just overall so cute. This would definitely slot right into my wardrobe. I would love wearing this with high boots, tights, and a turtleneck. I feel like it's just the perfect outfit combination of the things that I already have in my wardrobe. So that is definitely appealing to me. The longer version, it is very A-lined. It doesn't have as much shape at the bottom, and I feel like that is what is making me want to possibly make both of these True Bias skirts, one in the short, one in the long. Tell me if I'm crazy. I think this short version, though, I really do need to make. I also like the idea of having a shorter, more fitted skirt, more like a pencil skirt. And the one that I was looking at initially that I liked the look of was the Sabrina skirt by Forget Me Not Patterns. This has some really nice detailing with some panels going down the front and the back. There's also some darts to give extra shaping. What I thought was quite cool about this is it has actually 3 different fit styles. So depending on your waist to hip ratio, you can get different versions of this skirt. I think that in theory is really cool. The main downside for this one is that the size range isn't as good. So this is, I think, in her initial size range. I think Forget Me Not Patterns usually now has a more expansive size range. But this one, I will tell you the waist measurement because I feel like that's the most critical one because the hip does flare out a bit significantly more compared to a lot of other patterns, but the waist isn't necessarily that big. The other thing about this one is that there are no pockets on this one. This has an invisible zip and a pleat at the back. I feel like I was leaning toward this one until I considered that I also am a member of the Cashmerette Club. I have mentioned this before, I am a paid all access member of the Cashmerette Club, and I have access to a lot of patterns. I need to remember to look there before I look elsewhere because I have those patterns sitting there that I can use. And I think they have a really perfect pencil skirt option for me. That is the Elmwood skirt. So this has some darts at the back. There is a curved waistband, which is delightful. Always makes me really happy to see a curved waistband because I always need one. I really like that Cashmerette do generally make patterns for a curvier shape, so I feel pretty confident that it's going to fit me well. This also has pockets though. Pockets on a pencil skirt is not something you see very often, and they claim that these pockets do not open or gape when you sit down. Super curious to see how this one would come together in theory. This has a couple of length options, and I don't know if I would go for the full short one or I might go kind of halfway between the two. There's a pleat on the back for the longer version. I think I would want a pleat, and I'd probably go kind of halfway, like I said, between the long and the shorter version. I know that not everybody has access to these patterns, but if you are interested in this skirt and other Cashmerette Club patterns, they're actually having a sale starting today until the 30th of November. It is 25% off. They've also given me an affiliate link so that if you use my link, which is cashmerette.com/lostmythread, not only do you get 25% off, but you also get a free Cashmerette PDF pattern of your choice, any one that they have that you would like. And if you do that, I do also get a little bit of something if you use my link. I'll put all the details down in the description box down below. I will say I have made multiple Cashmerette Club patterns before. I really do love the ones that I've made, and I wear them all the time, especially my Murcott puffer vest. It has been coming out so much this time of year. I've been absolutely loving wearing that one. They do also have a load of other patterns that I would love to make. I look at them, I dream about them, and then other things, of course, kind of come in and take the forefront. But I really do want to make a load of the patterns that they have in there. I did initially get a free Cashmerette Club membership to make the patterns that I have made before. But honestly, I now am a fully paid member. I didn't get 25% off because I really do just want to keep getting the patterns. They also have live events. They have tutorial videos from Jenny, which are amazing. I really do love watching those. So if you are interested in any more details, please do look at them down in the description box below. So let me show you the fabrics that I'm thinking of using. I think that might help to make decisions about which patterns to go for. The first one I'll show you is this. So this is a paisley needle cord fabric. It's 100% cotton. This is one of the oldest fabrics in my stash, and I don't really know when I got this one, and I'm not entirely sure where I got it. I'm pretty sure I got it in a local fabric shop that closed probably about 15 years ago. So guys, this one's been hanging around for a while. And really, I knew what I wanted to do with it. I knew I wanted to make a short winter skirt with this, but I just couldn't find the right pattern. I couldn't decide on what to go for. As you can see, it has this really beautiful paisley print on it. I really love the colors, the dark brown background, these autumnal, rich, very me colors, I will say, considering I bought this so long ago, still very much in the color palette that I love to wear. I am leaning towards the Blair skirt by True Bias for this one, which I appreciate you'd probably lose some of those details with this busy print. You might not be able to see as much, but I think that would be super cute with that pattern. Watch this space. I'm not 100%, but tell me what you think. Blair skirt? Paisley corduroy Blair skirt? I think so. The other fabric I have, I picked up at a fabric swap earlier this year in London, and this is a cotton broadcloth fabric. So it's definitely a fairly heavy, almost like an upholstery weight type thing, which I think would work great for a wintry skirt. I love the colors on here as well. It has a really beautiful floral on there. It's also got a bit of a geometric vibe because of the design of the flowers. Very much similar color palette, very much what I'm gravitating toward. I'm thinking this one would be so good for a pencil skirt, a nice fitted skirt. I think it's going to be perfect. So tell me if you think that Elmwood Cashmerette one would be a good choice. And for the long skirt, I wanted to go for something quite plain, quite neutral that would go with lots of things. And I feel like this is such a good choice for me. This is more of a chunky corduroy, so it's a wider rib. This has some stretch to it. These patterns are not necessarily designed for stretch, but I don't think a bit of stretch is going to hurt me. If I have a longer skirt and I have a bit more ability to move around in it, I don't think that's a bad thing. Navy blue is very much a color that I wear a lot, so I'm basically thinking this needs to be either the True Bias Salida or the Itch to Stitch Calabra. Tell me what you think, guys. I'm really struggling with this decision, but I'm leaning more towards the True Bias one. And because this girl does love her corduroy, I have another corduroy that I want to use for my pinafore, and that is this. So this is a really lovely blush pink, slightly lilac-y, purpley pink stretch needle cord fabric that I got from Sew Me Sunshine. So it's a finer cord. I really like the color, and this is where I'm really kind of debating. So do I go for some kind of hack of this Hana Dress? Do I go for the Jennifer Lauren Camden pinafore and either hack it to have the front easier to access or just live with the fact that it's a bit awkward at the back to zip up? Or do I go for the Pippi pinafore that I know I like from Jennifer Lauren Handmade? The reason why I'm veering away from the Pippi pinafore is because this color is actually not that far from the color that I used when I made my original version of that pinafore dress. And though it is a size too small now, I don't know that my size is necessarily going to stay as it is. I've gained some weight because I've been less active because of physical injuries, and as my body heals, I'm hoping to be a bit more active, and I may be able to then wear that other one. So I feel like, do I want to have another one that's so similar, or do I want to do something different with this fabric? Tell me guys what you think. I honestly am a little bit stuck on this one. I definitely think this would be a really good pinafore dress, and I think it would work well with a lot of tops that I already have, but I'm just not sure what to do. I hope I have been able to give you some winter skirt inspiration for your own making, but I would also love to hear what you guys think about my options and which ones you think I should lean toward. I will be putting details down below about the Cashmerette Club. Like I mentioned, if you did want to use my affiliate link, get 25% off the all access and a free Cashmerette pattern of your choice. Use that link, cashmerette.com/lostmythread. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you did enjoy my video, please make sure you give me a like before you go. Subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss upcoming videos, and I'll be back to see you guys soon. Bye!